Skip this intro. Welcome back to the video store. Episode number 2, Red Hood Movie Reviews. Our first movie is 28 Years Later, a sequel to 28 Months Later and to 28 Days Later. You're going to be seeing a lot of wieners in this movie. Sometimes straight up Pringle cans. I didn't expect this at all from a zombie movie, but I just want to warn you because I wasn't warned. The opening scene to this movie is almost as good as the opening scene to 28 Months Later. It's super intense. It involves a little kid named Jimmy running for his life after watching Teletubbies. And that little kid, Jimmy, you're going to meet him again at the end of the movie, so don't worry about it. At its heart, 28 Years Later is a story about family, specifically a 10 or 12-year-old boy named Spike and how he's dealing with the zombie world. And also how he's dealing with his philandering dad and his mom, who clearly has something fucking wrong with her. She's sick as hell. And the doctor isn't exactly right in his head either. He's been out for 20 years in the middle of the woods building what's basically a skull theme park. And it's cool looking, but you could tell whoever built it, they're not right in the head anymore. And the rage virus has been running rampant for like 2 decades. And it started to mutate, and it changes the zombies too, which is pretty cool. You've got these like fat fuck bloated zombies that just crawl around on the floor, and you don't see them because they're big, fat, slow, moving in the dark. You've got these other zombies that are called alpha zombies. This is where I brought up the before the fucking they got pipe. There's no way to say it. This one zombie is a huge Pringles dick, and it's distracting in the movie because he's like 6'7" and he's running at you with this fucking flopper. It's like you can't help but laugh while you're watching this movie. But it is terrifying in its own way because you don't know what he was going to do when you get a hold of him. The virus has mutated and it's made different levels of zombies, kind of like how you've seen in zombie video games, how there's like, oh, there's the big tough one, there's the fucking fast ones, there's the fat ones. I liked how they, after all this time, adopted some of the video game dynamics. There's even pregnant zombies in this movie. I have a lot of questions about how there are pregnant zombies in this movie. The point is, they're taking a lot of chances with this movie, which I can totally respect. I don't want a replay of the same movies I've seen before. We've all seen boring zombie movies, and it's like, yeah, I get it. So at least this has new, different things going for it, and I like that. But I can't review 28 Days Later without addressing the last scene of the movie. That's where most people's complaints come up. And yes, it's weird, and it's wacky, and it kind of doesn't belong in the movie. I think they could have done it better. If they just put this scene after the credits, it would have made the movie so much better because it's just that out of place. I'll just say this, it involves ninjas. So yes, I do recommend 28 Years Later. Just be ready for that last scene. Our next movie up for review is on Hulu, so I hope you have Hulu. It's Predator, Killer of Killers. First of all, let me say it is animated, but it's more than just a cartoon. So I know sometimes people get turned off. They're like, I don't want to watch a cartoon. But it is R-rated, it's very nicely drawn, and it's got all the Predator action you want. It's broken up into 3 short stories. They're each these little vignettes. They're movies within a larger movie. There's a Viking family that has to go up against a predator. There's one story that takes place in feudal Japan, and it's brother versus brother, and then eventually brother versus predator. It's got a ton of great kung fu in that second story, and even though there's almost no word said, it's actually a very good story about 2 brothers who, through one simple twist of fate, managed to hate each other, but then while fighting this predator, managed to come back and basically learn to love each other again. And the last story takes place during World War II, and there's actually predator dogfights with planes. It's pretty neat. And what they do that I really like is that at the end of each story, you kind of see what happens to these characters in a greater sense of like the Predator story. There's this overarching story that brings it all together at the end, which is kind of like you get to see the Predator planet. They're dragging these people who defeated their predators and bringing them back for like a tournament of champions where they all have to, if they're either going to fight and kill each other or they're going to learn how to cooperate and take down, like, I guess what is the Predator King. And it's all pretty, it's great. So I really hope you give this a chance. Even though it's a cartoon, even though it's animated, it's definitely not like, don't put your kids in front of it. It's not like a Pixar movie. I think it's worth Give it the time to check it out. So this week's throwback is 1995's Virtuosity with Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington. So it's 1995. The internet is still a new thing. Everybody has dial-up. Virtual reality is still something 4 years away when The Matrix comes out. 1995 was a bit of a sci-fi year. There was a lot of like cyberpunk stuff coming out right about then. You had Johnny Mnemonic, Strange Days, Ghost in the Shell. There's probably other ones that I'm not thinking of. Oh, Hackers. Remember the Angelina Jolie movie? So it was very much like on everybody's mind, like, ooh, the computers, internet, like, what is this going to mean for the future? It made me think while I was watching it, like what we think of now with AI, like what we think it'll be 20 years from now and how quaint that'll look, kind of like how Virtuosity does. Because Virtuosity is trying very hard on a limited budget. The special effects are not the greatest. You'll laugh at them now, but I could see what they were trying to do. So in this movie, they have a virtual reality world, and they're trying to figure out what do they create in this world. And what do they do in this movie? They create a virtual reality world serial killer. Horrible idea. This is the first movie I ever saw Russell Crowe in. I didn't know who he was at the time, and he's this super serial killer in a VR world. He has this kind of ridiculous Conan O'Brien hair, and he's always wearing these colorful zoot suits. So he kind of looks like something out of The Mask, which I don't even think was out at the time. And of course, as happens with these stories, he finds his way into the real world. And when he finds his way into the real world, who's the only person that can stop him? That's right, Denzel Washington. He's a cop who is in prison for killing the man who murdered his family. And I guess the guy who murdered his family was also a serial killer. And that serial killer's like profile was used to train Russell Crowe, along with all of like a hit list of the worst serial killers in the world. They used the information from like John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, everybody. They really were like, hey, you know what? Let's make this guy a super serial killer for no reason whatsoever and just run him loose in a virtual world. And then oops, he somehow gets birthed like in a egg sack, almost alien style, into the real world. And what they did is they also ripped off some elements from Terminator 2, because Russell Crowe's serial killer character can also heal himself. So like when he gets shot, and he does get shot a bunch of times, he can use glass, because I guess he has nanites or something in him, and he can use glass to just heal himself at random. So of course this makes him a huge problem for all the cops in the real world who are just lighting him up, but it's doing no good at all, because all he has to do is like run over to a bus window and suck out all the glass and he can heal himself. And my favorite scene of the movie, this is something, I don't know who thought of this, but it's very clever. Okay, so Russell Crowe, he's a psychotic. He wants to find people to kill. He goes into a nightclub. He immediately kills the DJ and takes everybody hostage. And of course, there's everything's futuristic in this movie. There's a futuristic kind of like DJ mix table. And what he starts doing is he starts torturing people until he can get their screams just right. Like, you know, like he's using screams as notes to play this fucked up song in the middle of the movie. Whoever thought of that? That was genius. It's the number one thing I remember about this movie when I was like, oh, I'm going to review Virtuosity. It's that scene comes to mind. So if you're not even willing to watch the whole thing and you're like, oh, I want to go to YouTube and watch Russell Crowe in this scene, it's worth it. And all of this is directed by the guy who did Lawnmower Man. So if you have, like, if Lawnmower Man holds a special place in your heart, at least give this a try, because he did it right afterwards. And then kind of, as far as I know, proceeded to drop off the map. His name is Brett Leonard. He did a couple cool movies, but those are the two that I remember the most. So it's a movie that's like, I would call it 90s as fuck. It is just straight up, it's not corny, it's lovable. Like, you know, movies that are like that, where you know the special effects are going to be terrible, but like, just bear with it. This is one of those movies where you just do what you do when you're watching movies. Zone out, don't take it too seriously, hit your bowl if you have to, and just enjoy something for what it is. It was really like, it was shooting for the stars and fell so much, but that's kind of what makes it enjoyable. So give it a chance. So thanks for coming back to the video store and checking us out. Like and subscribe, Red Hood Movie Reviews, only on Quiet Corner TV. Siskel and Ebert are both dead.